Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to week 2 of the NFL Pickems. Sorry I couldn't upload the video for week number 1. Things got busy and outside of this, and I was unable to do it, but we're going to go right off of here. We're going to reveal the results of week 1. Week 1 are as follows. Mama Pef, the defending Pigskin champion, is in first place sole possession with a very impressive week 1 of 13-3. Followed up by Austin, who went 12-4. Daddy Dom at 12-4. Alex Hess at 11-5. Trevor Salvador at 11-5. Connor Cox and Shane DeVoe at 10-6. And 8th place Jamie at 8-8. And then bringing up the rear is CJ Gill at 7-9. Now, it's still, the season just started. All this could change in a matter of weeks. Someone who's in dead last could be leading by near the end of the season. So it's a matter of who gets these picks right going forward, but let's get right into it. Week 1 here. Let me just pull up my picks here for you guys. Week 2. My bad. Week 2. We have the Washington Commanders going to the Green Bay Packers. Both teams coming off very impressive wins. The Packers beating the absolute crap out of the Lions. I was not anticipating that. I understand them getting Micah Parsons was a major thing for them, but he only played up to about 50% of the snaps on defense, and majority of the time he was just on the field just as to be there as the presence. And though when he got on the field and he did plays, he got a major sack on Jared Goff that eventually led to an interception. So that was pretty good on them. The offense for the Packers seemed to click very well in that game. Seemed to be going very good. I'm anticipating that again coming this week in terms of the offense. The defense, I think, as we get along here, once they get after this game and Micah gets at least a week long to understand the defense, that defense is going to get a lot better. The Commanders came off of winning against the Giants. A very impressive win against the Giants, doing what they did. The Giants had a shot in that game. The Giants really had a shot at one point to actually stop and put an end to the Commanders, but of course they couldn't do it. Russell is a one-trick pony at this point. We all know once you take away his moon ball, that's basically it. I'm anticipating this game to be very, very good. I do think the home field advantage is going to play a major factor in this. I am going with the Green Bay Packers. I do love Jaden Daniels. I love what he did last year as a rookie. I just think this defense alone, this is going to be the hardest defense he has seen. Obviously, it's only week 2, but this is going to be the hardest one he's seen with how much talent and how good they are at covering and stopping the run game. I anticipate this defense is going to cause him to have issues, and Jordan Love is going to probably win another one here and set himself up really good going into week 3. Then we have the Jacksonville Jaguars playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. For once, the Bengals won a week 1. It's been a long time under the... Actually, I think it's the first or second time under the Joe Burrow era that he's actually won week 1. I know, it's surprising. Very impressive. It was a very, very, very close game. It kind of makes sense. It is a division rival. You're playing the Browns. It's pretty much going to be less than 3 points, you can assume. Joe Burrow historically doesn't have a good record against the Browns, so that was probably a factor in how close the game was. The Bengals, it proves again, the Bengals defense is really not that good. It proves again that they're not really that good. The Browns are just going to hang around as long as they decide to keep Joe Flacco in. I think the moment they take Joe Flacco out as the starting quarterback and put Shador, who I think it should be the starter by, I'm assuming, week 6 or 7, depending on the record, he's going to be the one that they need to focus the offense around because he's that good. And I don't understand why people didn't think he was going to get drafted in the first round, or were surprised that he didn't get drafted in the first round because he's that good. It's just there were a lot of questions around other subjects of him that made a lot of red flags. But disregarding that, Jags coming off a very good win too. End up beating a very good team. They actually impressed me a little bit in terms of they actually started to run the ball. Fortunately, they got rid of Tank Bigsby earlier this week, or this week and give them to the Eagles. I don't think it's going to affect them that much, but I do see some people saying that Tank Bigsby is a better running back than Travis Etienne. We'll have to see. I'm picking the Bengals in this one. I just think the Bengals have a better offense when you look at star power-wise. The defense is going to be an issue. I think the defense is going to end up being their problem the majority of the season, and especially this game if the Jags, Trevor Lawrence, and Travis Etienne can get it going. But I'm picking the Bengals to win this one. I think it's going to be another very close game, though. Then we have the New York Giants going to Dallas, Texas. Dallas, even though it was a loss, they impressed me in terms of how close they kept it with the Eagles. Yes, they got Jalen Carter to be basically kicked out before even the first play of the defense of the Eagles in that literally first quarter. Luckily for the Eagles, they didn't end up losing that game, but Dallas made it very, very good. Javonte Williams, I think it's Javonte Williams made it pretty good in terms of his run game and keeping them in. Dak, I think, is going to have issues once we get further along in the season. George Pickens' attitude showed up again in that game and costing them multiple penalties in situations where they really didn't need them. But I'm not really too high on them this year. I expect them to be at least a 7 to 8 win team just right now, even less than that. But if they can keep doing what they're doing in terms of keeping up their offense and doing what they've been doing, there's a good chance that they can be still in a lot of these games to the very end. The Giants, they got their butts whipped by the Commanders. Everyone knows, now you got to take out Russell's moonball. If you could take that away from him, they're a very easy offense to stop, and their defense is arguably okay with people on paper. Like, it's very dominant with Dexter Lawrence and Abdul Carter. So you just have to if you're able to stop those guys from getting to your quarterback, you have a very good chance to win. If it's on paper, I trust Dak Prescott more in this game than Russell Wilson. So I'm picking Dallas in this one. I do think it's going to be close, though, but I'm picking Dallas. Then we have the Chicago Bears playing against the Detroit Lions. A division rival again for the Detroit Lions, and another one for the Bears as well. Both teams coming off pretty heartbreaking losses. Lions getting their butts whipped by the Packers, and the Bears, who were leading the entire game, ended up choking away in the fourth quarter and making one of the most big-headed bone decisions I've ever seen in my life in terms of you were down by 3, you should have kicked the onside kick. But disregarding that, I'm picking the Detroit Lions here. I think Detroit's going to bounce back in this game. I think they need to. They cannot start 0-2 this season. They have a huge target on their back, being the one who's probably the favorites to win that division in the NFC North. And now you gave the Packers and the Packers to win over you, and you had the Vikings who got to win over the Bears. You have to now get a win in your division now. You have to get at least 1-1 to start in your division. You can't be 0-2. Bears, I think, is going to be a little bit for them to click. Ben Johnson, I think, could be a very good coach. He just has to work with Caleb Johnson and getting this offense where it needs to be. But as of right now, I'm going with the Detroit Lions to win this game. And I think it's going to be pretty bad if this offense gets doing what we know Detroit can do. Then we have the Los Angeles Rams going to the Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward actually did pretty much impress me as a rookie. There's arguably the reason why he's the only player from that Miami Hurricanes team in that last year's draft class to be the only player on any active roster from that class. He's the real deal. I think it's going to take a little bit for him. I think it's at least going to take him this year to understand the NFL. Once he gets past that, then we're going to actually see the Cam Hayward of college, which is going to be very impressive. But for the Rams, in this case, I like the Rams. As long as Matt Stafford is healthy and that back is okay, they have a shot. And Puka Nacua is a very, very bad man. He is not going to go down without a fight. That man got jabbed in the eye in last game, was bleeding from his eye, and still played in the game. That man he's got my respect in terms of not going out with that. He wanted to play the game. Respect to him. I'm going to be cheering for the Rams in this game, and I picked the Rams to win this one. I do expect the Titans to give them a little bit of problems on the defensive side, But I think Matt Stafford, he's been in the league long enough. He's going to understand that and make the changes necessary. Then we have the battle of the AFC East. We have the Patriots versus the Dolphins. Dolphins getting absolutely slaughtered in Indianapolis. I was not expecting that. Not a lot of people were expecting that to happen, but it happened. And unfortunately, they made Daniel Jones look like he's a very, very great quarterback in that one game. Then we have the Patriots here. Heartbreaking pick loss there for me. Especially, I picked the Patriots to win against the Raiders last week. I just thought the Raiders, in my eyes, didn't have the offensive power to stop the Patriots. And unfortunately, they came back to bite me in the butt. Mac Jones did end up throwing a pick in this game and ended up costing them pretty much a touchdown. I'm expecting the Dolphins to play a lot better this time around, but I am going with the New England Patriots. I just think the Patriots, even though it's in Miami, and we've seen things happen in Miami when the Patriots go there, I'm expecting the Patriots to rebound in this one, especially on that defense. If that defense is still the same in Miami, the Patriots should put up almost 25, 30 points on them as well. But we'll see. Then we have this is the very interesting game. I think a lot of people are going to end up maybe switching away from this pending reports coming out. The San Francisco 49ers going to New Orleans. Now, it's already been confirmed that George Kittle is out for this game. He's going to be out for multiple weeks. They've also now confirmed, as of today, that Brock Purdy is going to be out for this game. He might be out for multiple weeks as well. Now, that's not a good situation right now for this game, considering that the Niners need to get a win again. Yes, they were 1-0 last week. They beat the Seahawks, which was a very, very good game in terms of the closeness of it. But the Niners have to get a good start now, considering that they have two of their major players injured. And you got McCaffrey out there who's had a history of injuries, and he's the one player right now with the other two out that they cannot risk getting injured. I'm picking the Niners to win this one, though. I feel as though as long as McCaffrey's on that field, in this case against arguably the worst team in the NFL, pending what the Dolphins do this week again, the Niners have a very good chance to win this game. I don't see the Saints winning. I don't see the Saints even putting up a fight against the Niners. I just think the defense alone is not going to be able to stop that offense of the Niners without Kittle or Purdy. And I don't expect the Saints offense to be able to stop Nick Bosa and that 49ers defense. Then we have the king of the comebacks in week 1. The Buffalo Bills going to New Jersey / New York Jets. This is very interesting. Bills down in the fourth quarter against the Ravens by 15, it was, I believe, with 5 minutes left. Come back and pull one of the best comebacks I've ever seen in a long time in the NFL with that much time left. And unbelievably, they won that game, which congrats to them. That shows that they are determined and are going to play until the final seconds until that clock hits 4 zeros. Good for them. Congratulations. And it helps me as a Steeler fan that the Ravens lost. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Bills. I'm expecting the Bills to win this one again. I expect the Bills to just be so very good on offense. They're just going to have fun with this Jets defense. The Jets, I was very impressed in terms of how they ran the ball against Pittsburgh last week. Unfortunately for them, in the very key moments of the game, Justin Fields wasn't able to deliver, and Garrett Wilson did drop a ball when Jalen Ramsey hit him. It is what it is. It was a very close game, very high scoring. I don't expect it to be high scoring for the Jets again this week against this Bills defense. I expect the Bills to put up at least another 30 points again. I think this one's going to be probably a blowout, in my opinion. I'm going with the Bills. Then we have the Seattle Seahawks coming to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is a game where now it's technically a revenge game for DK. DK, yes, had a pedestrian game for him against the Jets. He didn't have any touchdowns. He had less than 100 yards receiving, and he had about 3 or 4 receptions. I expected him to have a lot more receptions against his former team now. I know Rodgers had his moment in the sun against the Jets. I expect this is going to be the game for DK to have his moment against his team. I am actually going with the Pittsburgh Steelers in this matchup. I think Pittsburgh, on their defense alone, I think their defense is going to play a lot better this week. I do think that is going to be the case. I just think the fact that the defense didn't have a lot of their first stringers play at all, let alone any snaps in their preseason, which I think showed in the first game that you need to. I expect them to rebound. Us getting Jabril Peppers, major pickup for us right now with the Deshaun Elliott being out for at least a month. That's going to help us, especially when Deshaun comes back. We're going to now have very good depth on this team then in terms of the secondary, which is going to help us later in the season. Derek Harmon, rumored to be able to play next week against the Patriots, which would be, in my opinion, okay, but I would wait till we're in Ireland to play him, just so that he gets another week to fully recover. But we'll see. The Seahawks, coming off a very, very heartbreaking loss to the Niners. Literally, they were the second incarnation of the butt fumble in terms of the offensive lineman ran into Sam Darnold when he was throwing the ball hit the guy's backside, fumble, game was over. I expect the run game to be a very key factor in this game for whoever wants to win this game. Someone who dominates the run game in this is going to win the game. It's Pittsburgh, not a very good run game in week 1, and it hasn't been a good run game in years. Seattle has 2 runners on their team that can, Kenneth Walker III and Charbonnet, I believe, who are very good at running the ball. So it comes down to the matter of can the Steelers stop the run and then on offense dominate and get holes open so Caleb Johnson, Kenneth Gainwell, and Jalen Warren can get lanes and go down the field. If we're able to do that, the Steelers are going to win. If we aren't, the Steelers will lose this game. But I'm going with Pittsburgh. I'm going with the belief that the defense is going to play better. Then we have the Baltimore Ravens hosting the Cleveland Browns. I don't think there's much of a conversation here. I just think it's going to be the Ravens are going to win this one. I think the Ravens are going to be pissed off that they lost to the Bills with concern that they had that game. They had it. They were dominating them the entire game. Derrick Henry was destroying them by running. Lamar was destroying them with his passing and his running. Their defense was utterly stopping the Bills' offense. But then the Bills woke up in the last 5 minutes of the game. They got some key stops, key turnovers, and then won the game. I expect the Ravens to come out very aggressive in this game. They want to put this game away and maintain this lead, and if not, put more of a lead on. But I would say they need to win. The Ravens, in my opinion, need now to win. Yes, they can rebound from this. The Ravens need to win this game. Because if they lose, that's 2 division teams that they lost to. They lost to their first division team, but they're down 0-2, and then they're going to be behind, more than likely, if they lose, the Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals, which is not a good place for them, considering that they're the favorites to win that division. So I got the Ravens to win this one. I just don't think the Browns are going to have a shot against that defense. I think Joe's going to have okay day, but he's not going to have a great one against his former team. I just think he's going to have a struggle against how quick that defense is going to get to him. Then we have a very funny matchup of the horses. The Broncos going to Indianapolis to play the Colts. I am actually going to go with the Broncos to win this one. I do think that the defense of the Dolphins helped give Indianapolis a misbelief that Daniel Jones is that good as a quarterback in the NFL. He's had his moments, but he's not that good in terms of he was playing a very, very horrible defense in the Dolphins. He's going up against one, arguably that could be a top 5 defense in the NFL in the Denver Broncos. We'll see this week if he's really that good. I expect the Broncos to have a very fun day and a very good day in terms of running and stopping that offense. I'm feeling that this is going to be this is my, I think, prove-it year for the Broncos in terms of the Sean Payton era. They have to go out and try and win this division. It's his 3rd year. He had Russell his first. He has now Bo next the last 2. Bo was very impressive his rookie year. This is now year 2 for them. They need to make a statement in the NFC or the AFC West, where The Chiefs look very vulnerable now. You have the Chargers who are looking to take a step. The Raiders look at taking a step, and now you got to take a step. Winning this game is going to put a lot of momentum in their place, considering that they have a very hard stretch coming up in the coming weeks. So we'll see what happens. I'm going with the Broncos to win this one. Then we have the Carolina Panthers hosting the Arizona Cardinals. This is it looks not like a very much of a toss-up game, but I have a feeling that the Cardinals are going to win this one. I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think it's going to be, just because I think the Panthers could get some massive chunk plays here, get some stops on defense that they're not expecting, maybe a turnover here or there. But I'm anticipating that the Cardinals are just going to run the ball heavily against this defense. They're going to throw it to Marvin Harrison Jr., who I think is going to have a very, very good year, too. So I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals. Then we have the Super Bowl rematch here as the America's Game of the Week. The Philadelphia Eagles going to Kansas City. I am torn on this one, only for the fact that I know the Chiefs' offense can be a lot better than it was in Week 1. I'm not a Chiefs fan, but I know they can be. Yes, Xavier Worthy is going to be out for a few weeks now. I anticipate the Chiefs' offense to be a lot better, but they're going up against the defense that gave Pat Mahomes a lot of problems in the Super Bowl. Because of that, and Jalen Carter is playing this game. He was not suspended like the rumor was going to be, but so they only fined him over $57,000, which, again, that's $100 to him. The Philadelphia Eagles are going to probably win this one. I think they're going to do the same system and the same schemes that they did against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. If it doesn't break, let's keep running it. And they're going to run the ball heavy on them. They're going to pass when they have to, and their defense is going to smother the Chiefs receivers and stop and pressure Pat Mahomes. I think the Eagles are going to prove it again that they should have definitely won that Super Bowl by dominating the Chiefs again. Eagles are going to win. Then we have the Atlanta Falcons going to the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota having a very good comeback, being down the entire game against the Chicago Bears, winning it in the fourth quarter from very big plays from J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. I am actually thinking of, this is the one where I'm going to surprise people. I'm thinking about going with the Falcons. I think that the loss for them, the Falcons, last week was not their offense's fault. It was their special teams. The special teams was right there. They had the opportunity and they missed it. They could have tied the game, gone in overtime, and had a shot there. I think that Falcons offense is going to be a lot better than people think it's going to be. I think Michael Penix Jr. has a lot of things he needs to work on in terms of being the quarterback there, in terms of being an average to above average quarterback to get this team where it needs to be in terms of growth. But I think he's going to be better than at least J.J. McCarthy. J.J.'s, technically, this is, if you're looking at it, it's not his rookie year, but it's his rookie year of starting as a starter in the NFL. I expect the Falcons to come out and win this one. I think their offense is going to have a pretty good day against that defense, considering what we saw the Vikings had against the Bears. So let's go with the Falcons to win this one. I think it's going to be my upset pick of the week, but I'm going to be going with the Falcons. Then we have the Monday night, the two Monday night games. We have the first one here. We got Tampa Bay going to the Houston Texans. Houston Texans coming off a hard loss, and the Buccaneers winning a very, very close game with their division rivals, the Falcons. I am actually going to go with the Tampa Bay Bucks on this one. I do think the Houston Texans can be a lot better on offense. They have the weapons around C.J. Stroud. It's a matter of they have to be very consistent on their offense, and their defense can't be letting up these big plays, and they have to get stops and turnovers. When they're doing that, it makes the pressure off the offense a lot easier to work with. They are able to move the ball better, not have to worry about, now we have to come back now. We got to get touchdowns now. Their defense has got to come up big for them in this game. Baker, since he's been in Tampa, has been very, very good. He is one of the best quarterbacks in the league when he's playing like he has been. And he's got a brand new weapon in the wide receiver from Ohio State. So I'm expecting him to be arguably at some point once Mike Evans is done, that wide receiver is going to be the number one wide receiver on that Tampa Bay offense. But because of what he has now, Mike Evans has to get the ball thrown to him a lot more in this game. I think this has to be the game where Mike Evans goes off and proves and shows that he is one of the arguably top 5 wide receivers in this league from a consistency standpoint, and he has to prove it in this game. Even though it's week 2, I think he's going to prove it. I'm saying I think he's going to get at least 2 touchdowns, maybe $150 receiving. That's my opinion. I think he needs to in this game to get his back on that step of getting another 1,000-yard season. Then we have the later Monday night game, a very, very could be a good game. The Los Angeles Chargers going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Very, very good game for both teams. Raiders winning against the Patriots. The Chargers beating the division rival, the Chiefs. This is a very, very key game for the Chargers to beat 2-0 to start their division and to start the season 2-0. The Chargers, I'm picking to win this one. I think the Chargers' offense is very, very good in terms of what they have if they keep consistently doing what they've been doing, and especially in week 1. The defense for the Chargers, holy cow. They proved in week 1 that they could be a major threat this year in terms of as they could keep up that consistency and do what they did to the Chiefs, to the Raiders. I think they can. Their run defense was very, very good against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs don't have a very, very good, I would say, runner. They have Pacheco, who I like, but I don't think they view him as a threat. Ashton Genty, being a rookie, he should be very weary of this defense. If this defense gets going in terms of stopping the run, the Raiders are going to have to use Genty in the pass game, and Genty is not a very good pass-catching running back. He's more focused on running the ball and being the run-first mentality. I think the Chargers are going to win this one, and I do believe the Chargers have to get off to the hot start that they need to be in order to have a shot at this division. Because as of right now, if the Chiefs lose week 2 to the Eagles, that division becomes wide open for the Broncos, the Chargers, and the Raiders if the Raiders lose this game or win. Either way for them. Whoever comes out this week in the NFC West, either as a leader or tied, there is a very good chance that they're going to be the ones leading it going into the next time they play the Chiefs, which could be a very key deciding game. But there's my picks for this week. Recap, I am going with the Green Bay Packers, the Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, the Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Rams, the Patriots, the Niners, the Buffalo Bills, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Baltimore Ravens, the Denver Broncos, the Arizona Cardinals, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Atlanta Falcons, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Thank you all for staying tuned for the picks. If you think I made the wrong pick in your opinion, let me know. Always open to hearing opinions and hearing criticism on what you guys think should have been gone and what pick you thinks I should have made. But remember, these are my picks. If you wanted to join, you can. You could have joined the beginning of the year, but the Pickems is now locked for at least this season. We'll see what happens this coming weekend. We'll actually see what happens tomorrow with the first Thursday night game on Amazon Prime this year with the Washington Commanders playing the Green Bay Packers. Everyone tune in to watch that. I think it's going to be a very good game. And if not, we got a whole bunch of games on Sunday football and Monday night as well. Thank you all. See you then.